tonight. Is the province making any progress in adding more physicians and nurses? A look at how you can stay cool in Regina. And photo radar cameras will be operational once again next month.
Live from our studios in Regina, this is CTV News.
Good evening. With Canada's healthcare system in critical condition, a lot of proposed solutions focus on the recruitment and retention of physicians and nurses. Well, today, the province was touting their recent hiring history, but as Laura Woodward tells us, with no information on those that left, it's hard to tell if this current treatment is even working.
Looking for a change from Florida. We had been there about 10 years.
While he hasn't yet survived a Saskatchewan winter, Dr. Brian Stout now calls Saskatoon home. He started working at Jim Pattison Children's Hospital in April after seeing an online recruitment advertisement.
We decided this is a good place to raise a family, and here we are.
The province says more than 7,500 healthcare workers have joined the system over the past 4 years. But when asked how many workers left during that same period, Health Minister Jeremy Cockrell couldn't say.
I don't have that number. We focus on the recruitment numbers. Obviously, we look at licensure numbers.
Of the thousands of healthcare workers added, physicians account for 742 of those hires, or about 10%.
Saskatchewan is calling. Grow your practice, grow your life.
Last year's international campaigns, including ads like these, led to 7 doctors either working in Saskatchewan or making their way through the hiring process.
It's very competitive. You've got every province, for an example, just to consider Canada, offering different incentives.
The recruitment agency says affordability has become one of Saskatchewan's biggest selling points.
If you're a young nurse who's graduated from health sciences in the province of British Columbia, are you going to be able to afford a house? Well, you can here.
While the province is celebrating its recruitment, it says this isn't the finish line. Efforts will continue as Saskatchewan's growing population puts pressure on the healthcare system. Laura Woodward, CTV News, Saskatoon.
Saskatchewan's NDP delivered a letter to the health minister's office calling for a pay freeze for health authority executives until a long-time contract dispute is settled. QP represented healthcare workers in Regina, Yorkton, Prince Albert, the Battlefords, and Weyburn will hold a strike vote in September. The letter from the opposition outlines a series of directives, including a September deadline to finish bargaining.
If we want to be competitive within Canada, we need fair and reasonable conditions of work, and we need competitive wages, period. And if the minister started there, I think he would see our healthcare system improve overnight.
In a response, the province said it's always looking for administrative efficiencies to reinvest in the frontline health workforce, including eliminating 26 senior out-of-scope leadership positions at the Saskatchewan Health Authority, redirecting more than $10 million to patient-focused efforts. The health minister says there's common ground to be found with the union as negotiations continue.
At the end of the day, we want what's best for patients. We want what's best for healthcare workers in our province, and so there's far more commonality there. We just need to sit down face to face and hammer that out.
QP represented healthcare workers have been without a contract since 2023. Regina's Urgent Care Centre will be running reduced hours for several days over the next week. The early closures begin on Wednesday and Thursday, when Urgent Care will close at 2 p.m. On Friday, the centre will close at 4 p.m. Heading into the long weekend, Saturday will have normal hours before Urgent Care Centre will close at 2 p.m. Sunday, then 4 p.m. on the holiday Monday. When the centre is not operating, patients are directed to either of Regina's emergency rooms at the Pasqua or General Hospitals. Well, air conditioners will be on full blast this week as heat warnings return to southern Saskatchewan. But some people don't have the luxury of AC in their homes. Some people don't have a home, period. Mick Favel has more on how you can stay cool in Regina.
It's another warm day in southern Saskatchewan. With higher temperatures forecasted in the coming days, the extreme heat can be dangerous to those venturing outside. Those without a home to go to are one of the groups which are susceptible to the heat.
There's a lot of people that are sweating, and so especially if we're outside or do our wellness checks, we'll be like, hey, come inside, get cool off. It's pretty hot out here. Like, you can get sunstroke, you might get sick. So we really encourage people to come inside.
According to Environment Canada, we are currently seeing above average temperatures for this time of the year. When heading outside, personal safety and the safety of those around you should be a top priority.
Avoid that peak heat of the day as much as you can. So if you have to go out and about and do things, tend to do them in the morning hours or the mid-evening and onward hours if you possibly can. Avoid that sort of late afternoon heat, early evening heat as much as possible.
The Saskatchewan Health Authority have released a public service announcement regarding the summer heat. Seniors, young children, as well as those with chronic health conditions are at risk. To help keep safe, the City of Regina have a list of places where people can go to rest, cool off, or get a drink of water. These places include the YWCA Regina, located in the Cathedral neighborhood, the Street Culture Project Youth Safe Space, located downtown, various City of Regina neighborhood centers like the Neil Bockwell Civic Arts Center, as well as all Regina Public Library locations. Water pads like this one in Albert Park are open to the public free of charge, one of the ways families can keep cool in the sun.
It's been lovely. It is full of excitement and kids having fun in the water. And the water park is lots of fun, isn't it? Yeah, we're splashing a lot today.
Those looking to find other cooling locations can do so by visiting the City of Regina's website. Mick Favel, CTV News, Regina.
All right, Sabine joins us now for our first look at weather. We get a closer look at those heat warnings that are hitting southern Saskatchewan.
Yeah, the heat's going to continue to stick around well into the weekend, Lee. We're going to see those temperatures close to 30, if not in the low 30s for our air temperatures, but feeling more like the mid 30s to high 30s for some places in the southern half of Saskatchewan. We're going to see those temperatures mostly the warmest heading into about Saturday, but we'll still be experiencing some mid 30-like temperatures heading into the rest of this week. You can see all of that red. That is all heat warnings. And then further up around North Battleford, we're seeing some of that faded yellow, which is the severe thunderstorm watches. No thunderstorm warnings just yet, just some watches, because with that heat, there is a potential of some thunderstorms to develop as well. Today, we warmed up to about 30, 31 degrees, felt closer to about 34 or 35. But like I said, that's just the beginning. The weekend is looking very hot, but I'll have all the details coming up in your full forecast. Lee?
All right, thanks, Sabine. Regina City Council was expected to discuss its preliminary 2027 budget today, but technical difficulties forced the meeting to be adjourned. Tuesday marked what was supposed to be the first of 3 budget meetings for city councillors, the other 2 scheduled for August the 5th and September the 8th. But those tech issues caused the meeting to be delayed by more than an hour before Mayor Chad Bashinsky and all councillors voted to adjourn the meeting. City administration currently forecasts a nearly $45 million increase to the general operating budget in 2027 just to maintain and deliver current service levels. Photo radar is coming back to Saskatchewan roads later this summer. Automated speed enforcement is discontinued in May after the service provider ceased Canadian operations. As Wayne Mantika tells us, SGI has now signed a contract with a new company.
Saskatchewan photo radar cameras have been sitting idle since the end of May, after the service provider decided to end Canadian operations. Now SGI has chosen an Alberta company to take over.
The new vendor is Global Traffic Group. The program, for the most part, will stay the same as it is today. The most visible change will be the equipment.
The new cameras will be mounted on poles similar to existing red light cameras. Installation will begin next month.
The photo speed enforcement program is really about safety. It encourages drivers to follow the posted speed limits, especially in high-risk areas, which helps prevent collisions, injuries, and fatalities.
Photo radar brings in an estimated $1.3 million in ticket revenue monthly. The previous service provider also operated in Ontario, which banned photo radar late last year. Premier Doug Ford called it a cash grab and promised more prominent school zone signs and other traffic calming measures. Saskatchewan NDP support photo radar.
I suppose anyone who's already struggling with cost of living and gets a photo radar probably has a reaction to them. I will say again, we're a little ahead of the school year, but just remind people to slow down and take care out there. We've seen too many people get hurt on the highways.
SGI does not plan to seek compensation for lost ticket revenue. It says the previous service provider gave advance notice of its intention to leave. The new cameras should be in place later in August. Wayne Mantika, CTV News, Regina.
A 32-year-old man from Manitoba is dead after a single vehicle rollover on Sunday in the RM of Rocanville. Around 7:20 in the morning, July the 26th, Moosomin RCMP received a report of a rollover. The driver and sole occupant was taken to hospital where he was later declared deceased. The family of the man from Little Saskatchewan First Nation has been notified. As of this afternoon, RCMP have dealt with 49 fatal collisions, killing 60 people this year alone. We may have noticed a police presence around Regina Airport today, but no need to be concerned. YQR was undergoing a joint training operation with Regina Police and other first responders. The RPS Tactical Support Team, the Airport Authority, Regina Fire, and Regina EMS were all involved in a scenario drill that involved an active shooter at the airport. The exercises were all done in areas that were closed off to the public so these partner agencies could work together.
Their team members are essential in any response at the airport. So working with our partners at the police, fire, and EMS provides them an opportunity to simulate a real-world scenario right here at the airport.
We had 6 members from our tactical support team who are also SWAT operators. We had some of our patrol supervisors and regular patrol members here in attendance to gather some experience and some mentorship from our tactical support team on how to respond to these types of situations.
Another appeal has been filed in the case of a former Saskatchewan Mountie serving time in prison for the death of his former lover. In 2024, Bernie Herman was convicted of manslaughter in a 2021 shooting death of Braden Herman. The two were not related. Herman was originally charged with first-degree murder. That was downgraded to second-degree murder. The Crown appealed to overturn Herman's conviction of the lesser charge of manslaughter instead of second-degree murder. Herman also appealed his conviction and sentence. Now, both conviction appeals were denied, but a judge did set aside Herman's original 11-year sentence, imposing one of just over 7 years. Now the Crown is appealing to the Supreme Court of Canada to determine if the manslaughter conviction should be upheld rather than second-degree murder and whether a new trial should be ordered. Well, summer vacation can be a time when children drive their parents up the wall, but for some families, it's actually the kids making the climb. Damian Smith explains.
Grab the corner. Nice.
Katie Gannon is the owner of the Regina Climbing Center. This summer, she's hosting day camps for kids as young as 5 years old, enhancing their physical development as well as gaining skills and courage. She says the kids love it.
It's hard getting them off the wall sometimes, actually.
Getting them off the wall means getting them off the couch, which can also be hard for parents to do.
It is kind of a way to trick yourself into working out, like doing a workout, because it's all body weight training because you're basically hauling your body weight up the wall.
This group of campers are aged 10 to 12, and for some, it's not their first time rock climbing.
I really like the challenges of it. I think that I really like to do what I think is the hardest because I really like to get to the top.
Like, it's not just climbing up a wall. You even have to like wedge your leg in places. You can even do a bat hang where you hang upside down by your feet. They're lots of fun.
And as the saying goes, what goes up must come down. Climbing is also a mental exercise with the children needing to find the best way to get to the top.
It helps with problem solving because if you're climbing all the way up there but you can't quite make it, then you can come back down and take a look where you could like grab the next hold or put your foot.
When parents pick their kids up, Gannon says they are pleased to see how rewarding this experience has been.
And for them, it's just fun. They don't see it as a physical workout until they come back the next day and they're like, hey, I'm sore.
Good, I got you.
Not only is the Climbing Center taking summer camp to new heights, they also offer classes year-round for the young and young at heart. Damian Smith, CTV News, Regina.
Ahead, U.S. President Donald Trump says he doesn't want to renegotiate CUSMA. Plus, the premier attends the state funeral for U.S. Senator Lindsey Graham.
Greetings, everyone. A Saskatoon entrepreneur competition is expanding and hoping to unearth the next great Saskatchewan story. The annual program is intended to empower Indigenous entrepreneurs with some cash prizes up for grabs. As Keenan Sorokan tells us, it has the power to inspire the future.
SREDA, the Saskatoon Regional Economic Development Authority, and the Saskatchewan Indian Institute of Technologies are teaming up and taking the province's startup landscape to soaring new heights.
I think we recognize there's so many great Indigenous entrepreneurs across this province, and although there's a lot in Saskatoon, we just felt like there were so many that weren't getting the chance to be part of this community.
SOAR is an Indigenous entrepreneurship competition that sees Indigenous-owned businesses in Saskatchewan compete for a total prize pool of $50,000. But while they compete against one another, the competition allows them to connect, be in workshops, and spend time with some of the greatest business minds in the province.
Some of these Indigenous entrepreneurs that maybe don't have access to facilities like these or programs like this, say close to them, where they've got that virtual connection now, that bridge can be built.
Christine Marie won the 2022 competition and says SOAR was life-changing for her and her company, Oasis Boutique. Rather than be surrounded by people trying to tear you down, SOAR has the capacity to lift you up.
Knowing when you looked out and saw a room full of people that were rooting for you, that's a big difference maker.
Applications are now open, with the pitch finale taking place in October, and everyone involved in helping give the next Saskatchewan success story the push it needs is happy to show what's possible by connecting with the right people.
You're pursuing your business, nobody's going to want it more than you, but that you have all those champions and those cheerleaders right in your back pocket who are standing alongside of you and wanting you to succeed just as much.
For Indigenous Circle, I'm Keenan Sorakan.
If you have a story you would like to see in this segment, here's how to reach us. You can contact me by email, and you can also watch past episodes and segments of Indigenous Circle on our CTV Regina and CTV Saskatoon websites.
Indigenous Circle, brought to you in part by Saskatchewan Indigenous Enterprise Foundation, growing the First Nation entrepreneurial spirit.
As Canada's Dominic LeBlanc arrives in Washington for more trade talks, the U.S. president is telling Fox News he doesn't care about updating the trade pact with Canada and Mexico and would rather be independent. Those CTV Rachel Aiello spoke to today said Trump's latest jab should be prompting the Canadian government to stop and consider if their current approach is working.
So the USMCA, are you looking to update that?
I don't care. I mean, I don't really want to.
U.S. President Donald Trump made it clear today he doesn't really want to renegotiate the trilateral trade pact known on this side of the border as CUSMA.
I'd rather be independent. Here's the thing. Mexico and Canada need us. We don't need them. The deal is important for them. It's not important for us.
This declaration prompting new questions about Canada's ability to get a good deal.
We haven't seen the intensity that a government that is focused on its interests should be bringing to our own North American contact.
Canada-U.S. Trade Minister Dominic LeBlanc and this country's chief trade negotiator are heading back down to D.C. this week for meetings. And this longtime Canada-U.S. relations expert says Trump's latest comments show that this country should be treating this trade war like a war.
It's not because you wish to exacerbate the trade war with tit-for-tat retaliation. That's not working. And it's not that you want to, do something dramatic that'll hurt your own economy. But the U.S. has to be convinced that you're willing to. That's, I think, where we are.
With just 3 weeks left before Trump's 50% tariffs on a range of Canadian exports come into effect, there's little clarity on the minister's game plan.
I think he owes our country some transparency.
And new data indicates the renewed tariff threats are casting a fresh chill on already frozen business investment.
Holding back on business investments today, whether it's investing in machinery and equipment, R&D, or people, means delayed in future growth in wages and productivity later on. And so with all this uncertainty, it's really starting to affect our long-term competitiveness.
LeBlanc's office confirmed to us this afternoon that the minister is now in D.C., but still won't say how long he plans to be there. Asked to respond to Trump's latest salvo and if it hurts their chances of getting a deal, the minister's spokesperson said, quote, "We will not comment on that." Rachel Aiello, CTV News, Ottawa.
Premier Scott Moe is in Washington, D.C. today attending the funeral of Senator Lindsey Graham. Moe joins several federal government officials representing Canada after receiving a personal invitation from the Graham family. The Premier met with Graham several times, including last year discussing trade and the energy sector. Graham visited Saskatchewan twice, back in 2009 and 2015. That included a stop at the Legislative Building, thanking Canadian troops for their service in Afghanistan. In a release today, Mo stated Graham had a deep understanding of Saskatchewan and its importance to North America's energy and food security, adding he was always gracious. Graham died of a heart issue. He was 71 years old. An expanded online passport renewal service is now available to all eligible Canadians. Applicants must have an address in Canada and be older than 16 when they got their last passport. They must also have received it within the last 15 years, among other requirements. Anyone applying will still need to get a passport photo taken and submit a digital copy. The most recent version of the online renewal service had a daily cap of 2,000 applications. Ottawa says people should receive their new passports within 20 days and be able to track its progress in real time. In Alberta, people will be allowed to pay directly for some medical tests without having to be referred by a doctor or nurse practitioner.
Albertans will have the option to access diagnostic screening tests, including ultrasounds and X-rays, MRIs, and CT scans.
Premier Danielle Smith says the new initiative will give Albertans another way to investigate potential health concerns and detect serious illnesses earlier. Patients will have to pay for the tests, and if the scan reveals a new or previously unknown cancer diagnosis, the province may reimburse the cost at the publicly funded rate. Legal experts say the changes could put Alberta at odds with the principles of the Canadian Health Act. A Canadian intern accused of spying for a third country while at NATO military headquarters has been denied bail. Officials say the suspect is of Chinese origin. So what happens now? Judy Trin investigates.
A Canadian intern will remain behind bars after being denied bail. The woman is accused of spying at NATO's strategic headquarters in Mons, Belgium, known as SHAPE. The suspect allegedly worked for an unnamed third country and is a member of a criminal organization. NATO interns are usually screened by member countries. In Canada, CSIS and the RCMP would be involved in the vetting.
I don't think it's worrisome.
Dan Stanton, a former CSIS officer, said this could be a counterintelligence operation, and the deliberate disclosure of ethnicity sends a message to the foreign power she's working for.
The way we've uncovered, or we meaning the government, or various governments, have uncovered perhaps the modus operandi of an intelligence service and has stopped the further development of what could be a mole or a penetration agent on behalf of another country, let's say China.
SHAPE is the command center for NATO, where the alliance plans its military operations and decides where to move troops and weapons. In a statement, Colonel Martin O'Donnell says there's no indication that NATO or SHAPE operational readiness, command and control, or ongoing tasks have been adversely affected. SHAPE, the supreme headquarters of Allied Powers Europe, hires 35 interns a year. Now that the Canadian woman and alleged spy has been denied bail, she'll have the opportunity to appeal. Judy Trin, CTV News, Ottawa.
A 7.1 magnitude earthquake hit an area of southern Japan today, injuring dozens of people. Authorities are still assessing the full extent of the damage. Around 20 to 30 workers at a shopping mall were unaccounted for after an explosion following the quake. Multiple people were also reportedly missing after a chimney collapsed at a paper industries factory, and 2 hospitals each said they are treating more than 50 people following the quake. About 300,000 people have been told to go to evacuation centers. Hundreds of soldiers have been deployed to help with rescue operations.
Still ahead, more than just camping, Saskatchewan parks are offering more active options to entertain visitors.
Saskatchewan roadway is seeing some major improvements. Wednesday on Your Morning, we're in conversation with the minister about the cost and value of upkeep.
Welcome back. Let's take a look at your weather cam outside, our sky cam actually. We're already starting to see all of the rides getting set up for the Queen City X, which kicks off tomorrow. I will be down there live doing the weather, and it's going to be a very hot one. Similar to today. I mean, currently we're sitting at 30 degrees, feels like 35, winds just over 10 kilometers an hour, but very similar to what we'll experience tomorrow. It's not till we get to the weekend where those temperatures are going to start to feel closer to about 40. I'll talk about that in a second. So we are seeing all of these heat warnings issued for southern Saskatchewan. We're actually starting to see a lot of those warnings extend further into central Saskatchewan. By the weekend, we could possibly see Saskatoon under those heat warnings as well. And then we do have those severe thunderstorm watches in effect as well. But in terms of what's coming up for active weather, most of that rain is staying in northern Saskatchewan. You're going to see what we've got coming up. We may see some of that scattered precipitation overnight tonight into tomorrow morning for the southeast, but it's not even really tracking for my rainfall totals, so it could be anywhere up to about a millimeter of rain that comes through the area. Not enough that's going to cool things down. Temperature-wise, we'll continue to see clear and sunny conditions throughout Wednesday into Wednesday evening. There is a chance we could see some more rain just along the southern border there. You can see around the Assiniboia area where we'll see a little bit more cloud cover to start your day Thursday. But that's pretty much it. It's going to continue to be clear and sunny until we get into Thursday evening. Again, we see a pop-up storm around the Swift Current area Thursday evening. Again, this is all also with the heat, the way the heat goes as well. These storms could also strengthen or just completely weaken before it turns into an actual storm coming through the area. But the rain that does come through in that southwest could be up to, again, about a millimeter is last what was showing for around the Maple Creek area in particular. So other than that, we're going to continue to see very warm temperatures and sunshine across the province. A little cooler for La Loche tomorrow. 22 degrees, a mix of sun and cloud. 27 for La Ronge and sunny. 26 and sunny for Prince Albert. Lloydminster 24 and sunshine. 26 and sunny for North Battleford. Saskatoon tomorrow 28 degrees, feeling more like in the mid 30s with the humidity. Sunny there, and 31 for Yorkton, feeling closer to about 36 I believe, with mainly sunny conditions in the southwest. Same story. 31 and sunny for Maple Creek. 29 for Swift Current. 30 for Moose Jaw. Sunshine across the board. And again, those temperatures are the air temperatures. With the humidity, expect those temperatures to feel closer to the mid 30s. Same story for the southeast. 33 for Weyburn and for Estevan with a mix of sun and cloud there. Sunny, and 31 for Assiniboia. And clear tonight, and really not much of a cool down either. Those temperatures close to 20 degrees, the high teens, which again is much warmer than what the average about 11, 12 degrees is for our low. Tonight, our low for Regina, 18, with the winds up to 30 kilometers an hour. 31 tomorrow, and I believe it's going to feel closer to about 35, 36. Winds up to 30 kilometers an hour, nothing but sunshine there. And then the heat continues. Thursday, we may see a little bit of relief, and by that, I mean the humidix level will be at about 31. But by Friday, we're back up 29 degrees with the humidity feeling closer to 37. Saturday, 33, sunny, feeling like 39. Sunday, 29, mainly sunny, and expecting it to feel closer to about 37, I believe. And then we see, it's silly to say a significant cool down, but it is a significant cool down, especially compared to what we're feeling over the rest of this weekend to the weekend. By Monday, it is your August long Monday, but August long Monday, 21 is the expected daytime high, so cooler than what your average daytime high is, and that continues into Tuesday, seeing a mix of sun and cloud, but relief in the evening with those daytime, or with those lows being about 10 degrees. So this week into the weekend, very warm. If you are heading out to the Queen City X, make sure you're staying hydrated and maybe giving yourself some breaks from that heat.
Yeah, and we'll look forward to seeing you on one of the rides. Slingshot, is that what you're doing?
No, we're going to go with the Ferris wheel, Lee.
Right.
I'll let you take the slingshot.
Slingshot it is. All right, Sabine, we look forward to it. Saskatchewan's provincial parks are getting a fresh look this summer, from yoga and birding tours to saunas and cold plunges. Saskatchewan parks are offering visitors more than just a campsite. The goal? To give visitors more ways to enjoy the great outdoors. Erica Madarash has more.
Saskatchewan's provincial parks are adding a new layer to the summer experience, one that goes beyond just camping.
We're really excited about our new businesses at Sask Parks. We started a new health and wellness initiative with the ministry this year, and we're really excited about that.
Rumansik says the push for more health and wellness options came after visitors asked for more things to do in the park. At Blackstrap, Cheryl Kish is bringing her yoga practice into the outdoors, offering hatha and yin sessions for both adults and children.
It's about being able to liberate your mind from all the stresses of the day and the thoughts that happen and just all those inside things that come up as well.
She says practicing outside adds something you just cannot get in a studio.
This is just kind of in a way that we can enjoy nature, but also enjoy the practice as well for what it has to offer.
And for Kish, the setting is just as important as the practice.
Feeling the sun on your skin, hearing the birds in the background or kids playing and laughing, it really adds and allows you to kind of find that presence in another sense.
In Buffalo Pound, the experience is also expanding for wildlife lovers.
I created the Wild View to try and get people outdoors and curious about nature and birds and wildlife, as Saskatchewan's so rich and there's so much to offer here.
She says her tours are about more than just ticking species off a list.
One of my favorite parts about running tours is helping people not just see the birds, that's always great, but really to see nature differently.
Marshall Morgan with Loon & Co. is bringing a new wellness experience to Rowan's Ravine.
We've designed the space for people to utilize it to go through the heat and cold cycles and to have a place to rest and relax, but also to connect with family and friends and the people that you bring out here.
He says the location was a big part of the draw.
The opportunity to have a space out here for people close to Regina, but also the surrounding communities here. We just thought it was a great fit.
At Saskatchewan's provincial parks, where the only thing more refreshing than the view might be the new experiences that come with it. Erica Madarash, CTV News, Rowan's Ravine.
Still ahead after being picked apart by Cody Fajardo through the air last week, the Riders' defense looks to bounce back in Saturday's rematch.
Here's what's happening in our community. A used book sale will be held on August 1st at 9 a.m. until 2 p.m. at 101 Center Street in Regina Beach. For more information, you can call 306-729-2062. And Midsummer's Art Festival will be held on August 1st at 10 a.m. downtown Main Street in Fort Capel. For all the details, head to msaf.ca. Submit your event to our community by visiting our website, ctvregina.ca, and click Community Calendar or scan the QR code on your screen.
Well, a chance for rider redemption on Saturday as the green and white play the Elks again, this time at Commonwealth Stadium in Edmonton. Last week, Cody Fajardo threw a career-high 510 yards and 4 touchdowns in that 36-34 walk-off win. As Donovan Mace tells us, the defense will need to answer the bell for their breakdowns in coverage.
The Rough Riders defense is hoping to rebound after Cody Fajardo and the Elks took advantage Thursday of some major breakdowns.
What did you see from Edmonton?
Oh, man.
I saw the Elks. Those breakdowns leading to an explosion of offense.
Faking to him. And on that play action pass, a deep shot, complete to Keon Julian Grant.
Highlighted by a game-winning drive with multiple third and long conversions.
Fajardo needs 10, looking for more. It's caught by Luther.
Fajardo throwing a career-best 510 yards passing, including 5 completions of 30 or more yards and 4 touchdowns.
The play fake.
Going into last week's matchup, Saskatchewan had allowed just 6 completions of 30-plus yards all season.
It looks bad when, you look at the stats and you say he throws 500 yards and things like that. But, for the majority of the game, I feel like we played well. We just had a couple busts, and, that's just unlike us.
Being able to just correct your mistakes, really.
I mean, we do got an extended week, so we're going to see some wrinkles, but, you know, they're going to do what we do, we're going to do what we do.
The rider saying a lack of communication, the root of those breakdowns, something they are honing in this week.
It doesn't matter who you play. If we have a lack of communication, bad things happen. So, you know, looking inward as a team, certainly things we can focus on.
They did what they were supposed to do, right? They came in, they chopped our head off at home. So we get to go on the road and kind of return the favor, and we'd like to go and do that emphatically.
And looking for revenge in Saturday's rematch against the very same Elks. Don for me, CTV News, Regina.
WCBL, the Moose Jaw Miller Express have sole possession of first place in the East Division with a big win last night in Weyburn.
That's hit in the air to deep right field. Sussex uphold back to the wall, and it's out of here. Home run, Eduardo Sainz.
The Express first baseman went 4 for 5 with a home run, 2 RBI as Moose Jaw beat the Beavers in Weyburn 8-2. The Miller Express one game up on Saskatoon for first after the Berries dropped a 6-2 decision to Lethbridge. Weyburn falls out of a playoff spot. They're a half game back of Lethbridge for fourth. They're back of Medicine Hat for fourth with 3 games in hand. Tonight, Moose Jaw is in Swift Current. Saskatoon tangles with Medicine Hat again, and Regina is going to play a doubleheader against Energy City in Red Deer. 3 Saskatoon athletes are headed to Paris to compete at the World Freestyle and Rhythmic Twirl Championships. The Trilogy twirling team has been training all summer for the competition, which starts later this week. Abby Fendelet and Brooke Elchuk are Canada's top junior pair representing Canada. Elchuk is also an alternate for individual rhythmic twirl. Alexandra Malley is an alternate in senior freestyle, and even though they may not compete, they're training as though they will. While the athletes say the backstage energy will be positive, they expect it to be intense.
These athletes have been preparing their whole life for this competition. This summer specifically, we've been training kind of 3 to 4 hours a day. They were at the national championships at the beginning of July in Regina, and then since then we've been training 3 to 4 hours a day.
The athletes say they're excited to showcase what has put Canadian baton twirling on the map. The World Freestyle and Rhythmic Twirl Championships start Monday. The competitions begin Wednesday.
Still ahead, renaming a bridge after an Indigenous leader who signed Treaty 6.
Time now to take a look at our rural forecast for tomorrow. A lot of sunshine and very warm temperatures. The areas we're looking at right now, not so much under the heat warning, except areas like Hudson Bay tomorrow, 31. Nothing but sunshine there. But then we're going to see a little more seasonal temperatures for Lloydminster. Sunny and 24 for Spiritwood and Meadow Lake as well. 26 for Melfort, Kindersley, 28 for Watrous and Outlook, and Wynyard 27 and sunny there. Closer to the southern border, that's where we see much warmer temperatures. Of course, all of these areas under those heat warnings. 31 for Maple Creek, Assiniboia, Pilot Butte, Broadview, Kenora, Lumsden. 32 for Carlisle, Cornack, and Rockland. 29 for East End Cypress and Leader, 29 as well, with Rosetown sunny and 27 degrees. A closer look at Purdue, which is located about 60 kilometers west of Saskatoon, so not under a heat warning. Tomorrow, 26 is the expected daytime high. Nothing but sunshine, but the wind's picking up to about 40 kilometers an hour, and that 26 with the humidity will feel closer to about 28 tomorrow.
The bridge on Muscoday First Nation that crosses over the South Saskatchewan River has officially been renamed the Chief John Smith Bridge. Community members gathered today to celebrate and show off the signs marking the new name. Chief John Smith signed Treaty 6 on behalf of Muscoday First Nation 150 years ago. The bridge has been named in honor of Smith's legacy and his role as a leader. The name change is done through a partnership between Muscoday First Nation and the province.
It was a collective aspiration to honor this chief, to coincide with signing of the treaty 150 years ago this year.
The province says the renaming reflects a shared commitment to recognizing Indigenous history, celebrating treaty relationships, and advancing reconciliation. All right, canola street price is down $4.50. It's now at $730.95 per ton, while the futures price is down $8.30 to $782.90 per ton. Amber durum wheat, $285.20 per ton. Red spring wheat's down a nickel to $302.92 per ton. Feed barley, $223.21 per ton, and flax is $630.54 per ton. Those prices courtesy of Bunge and Ice Futures Canada. The markets, the TSX went up 181 points, the Dow Jones by 537 points. The Canadian dollar dropped 0.02 cent to 70.89 cents US. Commodity front, gold down 17 cents. West Texas Intermediate crude down $3.35, while Western Canadian Select crude went down another $4.46. Gas in Regina, you may have noticed that it's starting to come down. I've seen prices that are $1.57, $1.55 per liter, but we still have it at $1.77.9 cents per liter.
U.S. President Donald Trump declaring Tuesday that the Canada-U.S.-Mexico agreement, or CUSMA, is not important for the United States as trade officials from Ottawa rush to Washington. Trump asserting on Fox News that Mexico and Canada need U.S., we don't need them, and the U.S. would rather be independent than update CUSMA, brushing off concerns over newly announced 50% tariffs on Canadian imports. Canadian Trade Minister Dominic LeBlanc will travel to Washington this week to defend domestic industries, backed by recent polling showing 6 in 10 Canadians favor counter tariffs if a resolution cannot be reached. TFI International reported a second quarter profit of $136 million U.S., topping market expectations as freight volumes and operating margins rebound across North America. And telecom operator Bell Canada is launching a nationwide AI system designed to automatically detect and intercept spoofed phone calls to combat rising consumer fraud. BNN Bloomberg is owned by Bell Media, a division of Bell Canada Enterprises. Those are your business news headlines. I'm Christine Lee.
Coming up tonight after the newscast, we've got a couple of big bangs followed by Password at 8 o'clock. Amazing Race Canada, 9 o'clock. Oh, where will they be in Canada? Big bang again, 10 o'clock. Okay, Queen City X gets underway this week. Plenty of unique food options for adventurous eaters out there.
Okay, so here we have the Twistaroni. It's a stack of pepperoni and mozzarella with garlic butter and marinara drizzle. I feel like that could be a popular one. The Cinnadog, a corn dog topped with frosting and cinnamon toast crunch pieces. There's the Big Dill Curly Brick. It's curly fries covered in cheese sauce, dill pickles, and Cool Ranch.
You like mini donuts? It's brownie mini donuts. Essentially, it's chocolate mini donuts with toppings like salted caramel if you want it. And one more for you.
Oh, my word.
This is a Korean dog covered in icing and Oreo cookie crumbs. This is just to name a few of what you can get. The X runs from Wednesday to Sunday at the Real District.
Do they still just have the caramel apples?
Do they still just have regular food?
Yeah. You know?
Yeah, there's going to be some vendors that definitely will offer something a little more.
Those kind of do look good. I'll be honest.
And Tim Hortons says it will be launching a Harry Potter-themed menu next month.
Yeah, Canadian customers will get a chance to order items inspired by the film franchise. The coffee chain says it's launching the new menu as well as limited edition merchandise and packaging to celebrate the 25th anniversary of the first Harry Potter movie. So I believe the new menu items will include the Gryffindor strawberry cheesecake donut. And the Slytherin chocolate pistachio donut. I'm not a Slytherin, but I would take that pistachio donut. Gryffindor strawberry cheesecake doesn't really sound very Gryffindor.
No, shouldn't they have like a Huff and Puff pastry or something?
I bet you that lemon one is Hufflepuff.
But they could have done so more with the names. Something like
Golden Snitch Timbit.
That's interesting. How about a serious black coffee?
Oh,
might be able to order
okay.
that.
That's a good one.
I don't have any other more ones I can come up with. Oh, what about the Sorting Hat? What's its favorite drink?
Oh no. What?
An iced cap. Look, they're not all winners, okay?